Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You're here with your channel host, GBHL James.
And GBHL Jamie. And this is our last Speak Friendly question before Christmas.
So it's a perfect opportunity for us to wish you a fantastic Christmas and say thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your support all year long. This has been... What number is this? Is this 51 or 52?
53 I've got it down as, I believe, or 54.
So I missed
you missed a few.
I missed the year anniversary.
No, you were there. I was at your house for the year anniversary.
52 was it?
Yeah, it was.
It was really memorable.
But yeah, we would like to say thank you for supporting our show, and we hope you continue to watch this channel because we enjoy doing it,
yeah.
And that you support your Hobbit hobby in the new year.
Yeah, make sure you go out and buy all the stuff or get your Christmas money, spend it on Hobbit miniatures.
I tried to put, I don't know if you saw, but on the Facebook group earlier, you haven't really got the internet, but on the Facebook group earlier, I think I actually put how many, it was about the release of the Thorongil model.
Oh yeah, so
and I was like, how many Desolation of Smaug books, source books would it take for us to buy before you would release these models? How much do we need to support you, Games Workshop? We will try. Okay, so we're going to get into this. This might be a Speak Friendly question. We've got Jamie in it for the first 15 minutes, and then I might have to finish it off.
Disappear.
Because I've got work in a little while, and we've been filming some very exciting stuff for these guys.
Try and film it here, so I just disappear for half.
Wear the same clothes,
yeah.
and my hair the same.
Yeah.
Wipe the mud off after the class. Okay, so the first question, because you're not, it's a nice short one as well.
Yeah. So Joseph Keller says, I remember lots of Lord of the Rings models were metal and then got replaced with plastic kits. Do you think that may be the case for the Hobbit models? No. Sorry, no. No,
it's not going to happen because they don't do metal models at all now.
They're metal models at all, and I doubt Finecast will become plastic, unfortunately.
So nice, easy one.
Quick start. Next up is the Avatar of Odin.
Ooh, I like it.
No question.
We like that. We're into that.
No question last week. The shame, but that was, of course, to compensate for the very long question the week before, which was so lengthy that it got cut off.
Must have got cut off on the phone.
Oh god.
That would have been yours.
Okay. Given that the great setting of Middle Earth is. Given that the great setting of Middle Earth is one of the main aspects that draws many players to this game, how thematic would you say that most tournament armies are? Do you feel that some restrictions, e.g. on allies or the percentage of elite troops, would be an interesting option or completely unnecessary hindrance? Something best left to the players?
I think best left to the players.
I think on the whole they are.
Yeah.
You get like myself who took the Woes Elves, that's not particularly themed.
I would say most people.
It's not unimaginable, but it's not in the canon. So yeah, I'd say most people do take a themed force.
Yeah, I think most Lord of the Rings players like the idea of immersing themselves in Middle Earth.
Yeah.
And you might take a themed force that is, you know, a competitive list or, you know, optimised, I think is optimised.
Next is David Reed.
Oh, hello!
Continuing from last week's question, there was a Balrog at the Scouring of Stirlingshire this year, James. Sean Thompson was using it. Would be interested to hear from Jamie if he's here this week.
He asked, is there anything that you've not seen in a tournament? I was going through and I was like, no, I've even seen Balrogs and stuff like that. So, what have you never seen in a tournament?
I don't think there is anything.
That's what I was thinking. I was going through all of the lists in my mind.
I've even played the Tainted. A few that spring to mind for me, not that I can recall seeing at any independent tournaments at least, are Duin here.
I've seen him.
Seen him. Angbo. Seen him. Bill the Pony. No, I've not actually.
No.
And Old Bilbo. Yeah, Old Bilbo as well. That's two good picks. Hoping to change the first two. He's got a featured army planned for 2015, something for a bit of fun and difference. On that note, are there any models armies that you'd consider taking purely because of the models themselves, even if the rules are a bit rubbish? Clanston of Lamadon for me. I'm taking Warriors of Rohan. I might take Bill the Pony. I've got him.
Yeah, that's cool. That'd be real cool. Bill the Pony.
Bill the Pony along with Sam. Just those two.
What's it? You got to roll a 6 and you get a might point back.
Like Will or a Fate.
Oh wow! Oh, wow!
Pack supplies.
In terms of things that I might take, even though they're a little bit of rubbish.
Tournaments, are you, this year?
I'm not going to any tournaments, no, so I won't be taking anything.
Your favourite person, Quinn Duggan, Slayer of James. He says, I just got back from speaking in front of 600 doctors and made a 600-point list. Why would you speak in front of 600 doctors?
Remember when we saw him at Desolation of Stockport 2.0?
Had to hurt your leg.
He'd hurt his leg. He's better now.
Oh, good.
And his voice is breaking. Not to embarrass him or anything.
What, like hello?
Kind of, he's going really deep. I'm a Quintagon.
So here goes. Elrond with horse and heavy armour, 12 Rivendell knights with the shield, the new Legolas on horsey, and a certain councillor with a bra full of gold. Alfred. I was also thinking of doing them in autumnal colours with leaves painted onto the cloaks. So what do you think?
Sounds good.
Sounds good, yeah. Legolas, new Legolas on horsey's good.
Yeah, I think it's quite a good little list.
Yeah. Kurt Leach, can Tauriel the Exile version lead Mirkwood Rangers? I've not seen the new source book. I don't think so.
Is she an independent hero?
I don't know. I've not seen the thing, but I would assume so. Assume not. Sorry.
Yeah, I've not seen the new book yet, so
Mine's on.
You'll have to keep an eye out on the Battle of Five Armies week, which is being run by GBHL Tom and GBHL Damien, and they'll be reviewing that. When they did the unboxing, I don't think that they had the magazine, so they weren't sure whether, because it's possible that list-wise.
From the sound of it, Mirkwood Exile, she sounds like she shouldn't be able to.
Sounds like she shouldn't be able to, no. But I think that was one of the points that they made, that she didn't have an independent sign. But I don't know, but you guys should know now, because the magazine is out.
Yeah. Joe White, hi guys, what's your favourite scene and character from Battle of Five Armies? Mine has to be Dane nutting 4 orcs to death and Thranduil.
Well, spoiler alert for anybody who's not seen the movie before we give the answers. You've got 5 seconds. 5, 4. You've seen it twice now, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'm really jealous that it's been out for a week and I've only seen it once. Okay, your favourite scene.
Favourite, I don't know about favourite, but a scene I really like is watching the dwarves get armoured up. I don't know why. Seeing them get all armoured up, standing on top and shouting "Brugazad!"
Yeah, that's cool.
Just shouting at people, and also noticing Gimli's helmet on Gloin. That was a nice little homage.
That was cool. I was a big fan of Dol Guldur. It was over quite quick. For Galadriel,
favourite scene's got to be Dol Guldur. I don't know how that didn't.
I grabbed Jay at that moment. I would have grabbed you if you'd have been there.
There's got to be such a. There has to be. PJ has to have a big extended edition.
Yeah, it's a bit quick.
There was so much where it felt like he just like went.
But it is. You can tell. You can tell because there's a bit where her eyes go a bit.
I was discussing this with the Games Workshop manager in Manchester that in all the films PJ does these big long sweeping shots, but if you watch it again, which I noticed when I did the second time, because I was being a bit more critical of it all, there are lots of things where it's like cut. And it's like, what happened there?
Yeah.
There's got to be loads.
I think there was a conscious effort on this last movie to make it shorter.
Yeah, I know.
I think there was a conscious effort based on what happened with Return of the King. But we don't mind. We're geeks. We love it all.
Well, hopefully, I think someone coming to say that we'll get the big one that we want.
I thought the Azog Thorin fight was good, and I thought they did Thorin going a bit mad very well.
Yes, yeah.
That was done very well. Really good.
Next is Bran Bolger. He says he's finally back.
Woo.
His zombie apocalypse gear. Bow and arrows, longsword, 2 knives, and Dane's skull.
Cool.
Fair enough. He's thinking about a Mirkwood list with Radagast on an eagle.
Radagast on an eagle was cool profile.
Yeah, I've still not seen that. He's got Nature's Wrath, hasn't he?
He's got Nature's Wrath, it's monstrous cavalry.
Yeah, but no staff of power.
No stuff.
Like that's something that should be in the film because enough you see him.
That's cut out. It's
very clearly in the next film, the next scene, he's got Radagast staff. You're like, why didn't you just show him giving it to him? I guess for the regular film goer, you just think Gandalf has a staff.
Yeah, I think.
You don't think, oh, his staff broke when Sauron broke it. Where did he get this new staff from?
Yeah.
The average viewer just goes, that's Gandalf's staff.
Exactamundo. It's all going to be in extended editions, which we've got to look forward to.
But with Thranduil, Leggy and Tauriel, I can barely fit any troops in there. What would you recommend for the Eagle? I will probably convert the Slayer model on top of the Guahir model. Yeah, someone's done that already, haven't they?
Slayer, yeah, they have.
Even
the free limited edition one.
Do that one. That's free. Well, free. Thranduil, Leggy, and Tauriel. Drop Tauriel. Leggy's great.
Yeah.
New one. New Thranduil's great. Drop Legolas. Tauriel.
Yeah. Drop Tauriel. Get your troops. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Mavers290. He says, "Thank you for the welcome. It's very much appreciated. And yes, I accept your challenge of asking each week. So here it goes. Recently, I bought a Grimhammer's box, Grimface, with the intent of making a dwarven army after my elven lists were completed. Shocked and saddened to see that the Captain of Erebor is already out of production.
Out of production as well. Not out of stock.
Not out of stock. Pretty devastating news to see that products are falling behind us like planks on a rickety old bridge in an Indiana Jones movie. The question is, do you think it would be wise with GW's current business practices and the unfortunate news about GW sales taking a huge hit? Perhaps for those of us buy a group of items every 2 or so months to focus on a single to focus on a certain Forza project and get it completed. I will admit that I have no one to blame but myself, though I am overseas currently and have been for years. If I may ask a related question, also would the takeover of a company like Hasbro, who I hear has been stalking GW like a wolf lately, have you excited, worried or fearfully excited for the future of our Lord of the Rings hobby? Sorry for the grim questions, but grim times for grim hammers. Thanks again for the work, all the work you do, Martin.
Thank you very much for your long question there.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I think the longest question that Jamie's been quite happy to read, because he knows that we've got 5 minutes before he's got to go.
I think if you want to do a project, unfortunately it's just to buy it all. It's a really nasty situation to be in, where you've got to just splurge your cash, get the models, let them, like Damien's big box, just sit there. That's a project for the future.
Yeah.
Where's my next spend going? They've released the elves, get the elves.
I think Damien's got the perfect, it's not sensible, but he's got the perfect, and it's something that I've tried not to, but I'm thinking more like Damien now when it comes to buying the models, which is, do you know what, at some point these aren't going to be there, and am I going to miss the money, or am I going to wish that I had it and be searching on eBay
and paying through the nose for it?
And this is what's justifying Smaug to me,
yeah.
is that I would be devastated if I was in a position where I couldn't buy it.
Yeah.
Even though I know I can't really afford it right now, what if it went out of production? It's a horrible position to be in. So yes, complete your projects.
Yeah.
Support your hobby.
Yeah. But you never know, if they all sell out super quick, then they go, oh god, let's make more. We make more money. Maybe. Also, if Hasbro took over GW, would I be excited, worried, or fearfully excited? Oh, I don't know. I think I think GW itself might change the way they market things a bit more. For Lord of the Rings hobby, I think I'd be disappointed. I think Hasbro would drop it. If you were a new company coming in, you wouldn't go, there's potential in that range. You go, let's look at the sales figures. That range is done awfully, let's drop it. You wouldn't come in to try and revive it. If they'd been in before The Hobbit was released, then maybe they would have gone, well, we'll hammer this release to, someone's sick of The Hobbit. But they didn't. So.
You never know. There is emotion attached with Lord of the Rings and Tolkien. I think that somebody might think that they could do a better job, but who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll make this the last one before
with me in it,
and then unfortunately you've just got me. You're picking.
No.
He's back. He's back. Not dad. He's not dad. He's not dead.
He's not dad.
He's not dead. He's not dead. He came back because we got a bunch of people to call him out.
Yay!
And he came back in the last one.
Good man.
I know. So look how happy. I'll tell you what, why don't you read that one out, Jamie?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I'll just remember, or try to remember. Okay, so Jamie.
It's Cha-Cha Master!
Cha-Cha Master!
So, great answers last week. I think I'm going to buy the Mirkwood Armoured Captain and convert him to Gil-galad and paint him a little bit different and add some green stuff and a shield. And I think this is going to be nice.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
It's a nice model.
It is really nice, that model.
Really nice.
That's it. I thought my eyes were going funny. I thought that's it. Okay. Old Gil-galad is terrible and such a non-dynamic pose for a legendary warrior. As always, cheers from Poland.
Yeah, I don't like the old Gil-galad pose.
Oh, is that the one with the... I'm a banner bearer for High Elves.
He does. That's what. Yeah, that's what he looks like.
I think
he should be well sticking it into something on the floor or doing like banging it foot up.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea actually.
I think that's a really good idea. You've just given me justification for buying the lovely model that is the Mirkwood Armoured Captain, which I wasn't going to get. Yeah, I might go for that. So guys, I think that what we should do is have like a sort of mini sign off. So Jamie's signing off for Christmas.
Goodbye. That's it. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
And I'll be back with you some quality answers after the break. And we're back again, Strategy Battle Gamers. So Jamie is no longer here. I'm filming the second part of Speak Friend and Question on the Sunday. Jane's in bed, so I've got to keep it down just a little bit. And yeah, we're a little bit close to Christmas. Now what you did miss in that Speak Friend and Question is that just after that I presented Jamie with his Christmas present, and some of you will have known that this was the Jon Snow figure from the Song of Ice and Song of Ice and Fire series miniatures, which I picked up at Selwick. So he was pretty chuffed about that, and he said he's going to get that to a hobby blog very, very soon. So the last question he read out before doing the Chotchar Master was from Mabbers290. So next up we're going to have Dr. Dan. Dr. Dan has put, "Hello gents, I hope you're back together soon." He put, "Quick question. Having seen the new releases and profiles, do you think that the new Hobbit profiles are overpowered in comparison to the Lord of the Rings profiles? Specifically thinking Azog, Bolg, New Leggy and Dwalin. Aragorn was meant to be the greatest warrior of his age, yet would he beat 4 attack, strength 5, piercing striking Dwalin, or beefed up Bolg or Leggy? I am unsure. As always, keep up the good work." Well, that's a very, very, very good question, and I think what it comes down to is, yes, the new profiles are pretty powerful. The Hobbit actually hasn't been as guilty of the feared stat creep that a lot of people were worried about up until perhaps this last release. I mean, Azog was of course powerful, and powerful things have been released, but everything that's been brought out which has been thought that would, you know, change the meta or be overpowered has proven not to be. There seems to be a lot of sort of where there are lots of pros, there are also lots of cons, so you've got to kind of weigh that up with a lot of the Hobbit figures. However, with this latest release for Battle of 5 Armies, yes, there is some incredibly powerful stuff. Now, whether that means that the new stuff needs, you know, shouldn't be as powerful, or whether it means that some of the old stuff probably needs rebalancing, that's probably more where I think that the change needs to happen. There's a lot of things that, you know, when they were brought out were absolutely completely powerful and were probably considered the most powerful things at the time, but of course as time goes on those profiles become not necessarily more and more irrelevant, but you know, they're not going to be as powerful as some of the latest releases. So in the past, where, you know, Fight 5 might have been quite a big thing, you know, and then when Fight 6 came out, you know, with a lot of the later heroes and bigger beefed up heroes, then it was like, wow, you know, Fight 6 was the thing to have. And I guess that's the same with a lot of the troops. So I would say, I don't think that some of the new stuff is overpowered. I just think that some of the old stuff could probably do with a kind of reconfiguration, not just the heroes either, but also the warriors. So yeah, I think Aragorn should be a Fight 7 hero, definitely. And I think that there should be a rebalance in a lot of the fight values for some of the troops in the game as well. So yeah, I think that, I mean, this new Thranduil is pretty amazing, isn't he? You know, Legolas, Fight 7 and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I do agree with you, but I think it's more to do with the old profiles needing updating rather than the new profiles needing a bit of a slap back down. So thank you very much for your question, Dr. Dan. Next up, we've got Chris Dan. So maybe this is Dr. Dan in a different guise, I don't think so. We've met Chris Dan at East Grinstead. We signed his copy of SBG for him. He's put, "Hello, it's nearly Christmas and I'm in a great mood. A whole bunch of tournaments to look forward to and new models, but above all, I'm now engaged." Congratulations, matey. Maybe in the next Speak Friend and Question, let us know how you did it. Well done. Good on you, pal. So you've got a lot to look forward to. The most said thing to me since I got engaged is it'll be here before you know it, and the whole time I've been like, yeah, right, and it's here before I know it. So when people say that to you, it does come around quick, so get prepared. He's put, "My question is, what theme are you going to have, James, at your wedding? Lord of the Rings, maybe? Same question to any guest who's with you this week, and if they're not getting married or already married, what theme would they have? I can't have Lord of the Rings, but we've both agreed Disney." Oh, good stuff. All the best, guys. See you at East Grinstead, I'm sure. Well, you won't see me at East Grinstead this year, but you'll probably see Jamie. I love the East Grinstead tournaments, but of course I'm cutting down next year because of the wedding. So if you want to see me, you'll have to make it to a Stockport event, buddy, and I'm sure you will do that. Okay, so as for a theme for the wedding, I don't think I'd ever get away with Lord of the Rings theme, although very strangely Jane suggested to me when I was looking to get my wedding band, and she showed me a Lord of the Rings platinum wedding band that had the inscription on it, and I think the inscription was in the inside, but she was like, "Wow, isn't that really cool?" And I was like, I'm not that much of a nerd. There's no way. you know, I'm quite traditionalist, I think. You know, I want a lot of things quite traditional. So no, I'm not really keen on the theme. We are having a big Disney theme. We're both into Disney. We both love Disney. I didn't even realise how much I love Disney until I met Jane and realised I knew more than her, and she considers herself a Disney geek. So we are going to have a huge Disney honeymoon. So we're going over to Disney World in Florida for 3 weeks, which I can't wait for. Really could do with a break, especially after all the wedding planning, of course. In terms of the wedding itself, there is no theme really. I guess, you know, the theme is York, because that's where we had our first day out together. That's where I asked her to be my girlfriend. That's where I proposed. That's where we've gone for lots of our sort of days out together. There's a lot of history in York, so there is that kind of element to it. In terms of theme, the colour theme, there's a lot of kind of red involved, like dark red, and you know, red is one of Jane's favourite colours. She uses it in her business, and you know, I'm a big Man United fan, I suppose, although that's not really come into it. It's probably one of my favourite colours. I did want to sort of turn up almost quite James Bond-esque, I suppose, so I'm going for, you know, your dinner jacket look, and was originally going to turn up in a Aston Martin DB5, a proper classic, but it's a bit excessive considering my hotel the night before the wedding backs onto the venue, so there's no way I'm paying 400 quid to drive for 30 seconds. No way. I can go and do a track day sometime, or hire a Aston Martin DB5 another time, but I'm not doing that for the wedding. So yeah, in terms of theme, that's probably about as far as we go, but no, I don't think I'd get away with it. But yeah, good luck with your Disney theme, pal. Let me know what kind of things you do. Okay, so next up we've got Sam Gibbs. He's put, hi guys, can my warband of Mirkwood Rangers all have bows, all 10 of them? And what does their special rule, knife fighters, mean? Also, I don't have Facebook, so I can't get on the Facebook page. So how can I enter into the next and up and coming tournament? Thanks as always. Okay, so let's start off with how do you enter into the tournaments? Well, usually to enter into tournaments you have to contact the tournament organisers. If you're not on Facebook, that does make it a lot harder actually. What you could do is go onto some of the forums, go onto the onering.co.uk, and there is a sub forum that says the Great British Hobbit League, and if you check that out, there should be information about various events. If there isn't, I've not been on there myself for a while, because we just tend to use the Facebook now, because you assume that most people have it. But you could always go on there and ask the question, when's the next tournament? Now I do know that the first tournament of the year is at Titans Wargaming Club in Finchley. It's called Fog on the Finchley Downs. It looks really, really cool. It's a 350 point tournament. The guys that you want to contact about that are Chris Young and Damien Grantham, and on the One Ring forum, Damien is literally known as just Damien, and I'm sure that Chris Young is the White Wizard. But if you struggle to get hold of them in order to get yourself a ticket and a place, send an email to ilovewargaming@gmail.com, and what I'll be able to do then is be able to put you directly in contact with them. It'll be a great tournament, so make sure you get yourself down to that. And again, if you can't find a list of the tournaments, you can always contact me and I can send you a list for next year. Okay, so in terms of can your warband and Mirkwood Rangers all have bows, all 10 of them? Yes, they ignore the bow limit. It sounds like you don't have your Desolation of Smaug sourcebook. If you have Mirkwood Rangers, buy yourself the Desolation of Smaug sourcebook, because all the information, everything that you need is on there, and anything that's been FAQ'd or errated will be on the Black Library website in the FAQ and errata section, so you can check that out, and that includes the Knife Fighters special rule. Okay, so make sure that you check that out, and if you give them a good read, it will give you all the rules. Of course, we can't give you all the information about the rules on here. Okay, so good luck with that, Sam, and let me know how you get on. So next up we've got Ross Diggle. This is Mr. Stockport. He's in Stockport. He's going to show me Infinity sometime for a Let's Try Tuesday. He's put, hi guys, here's my question for the week. If you have a character that counts as a banner, such as the Candish King, can you also have a banner in the same warband? Yes, you certainly can. Yeah, you're not limited to how much war gear you can have in a warband. What I would say is that banners are very expensive. and I think it's okay to have one in your whole army. If you've got a leader that counts as a banner, then that's pretty good. And if you're at a tournament where you've got to the death, then you might want to get a banner in there as well. Or if you've got a reasonably high fight value. Mind you, if you're canned, a lot of your stuff is fight 4, so a banner can be quite handy at fight 4 and above. So yeah, but you can, that's the answer to the question, of course you can. Okay, so next up we've got Ryan Hobbit Hinch. He's put, "What's up guys, Hobbit Hinch here. Hats off to both of you, and special guests for keeping Speak Friend and Question going over a year now." Well, thanks very much, hopefully long may it continue. As per the hobby vlogs and general discussions, James, you were talking about changing up your all-mounted Rohan list to include just Sons of Ale. I was thinking of doing something similar but with a Rivendell theme. Although maybe a Rivendell Knight Captain leading 1 knight with banner and shield and 8 knights with shield, plus the twins tooled up. This is 500 points. Is it okay, and what should I include in larger points games, e.g. new Thranduil, Elrond instead of the captain, or more knights, maybe magic? P.S. What models should I use as the knights dismounts? What war gear should I have on the dismount models? Thanks a lot guys, and happy strategy battle gaming. Well, thank you very much for your question, Ryan Hobbit Hinch. Okay, so let's start off with the beginning. It's not that I want to change my list to be all Sons of Ale. It's very interesting that sort of in the past year at the tournaments, you know, I've got a reputation for spamming the elites of Rohan, as it were, by using Sons of Ale and Outriders. Whereas typically, you know, most tournaments have been 500-600 points ish, and I tend to take them as about a quarter of my force. Now that's been absolutely fine because Riders of Rohan, Westfold Red Shields have the 100% bow limit. Then that does mean that you can sort of skirmish, etc. But I can see how at some tournaments that might not be as fun for some opponents, even though that's what you've got to do to try and win. And I think it'd be a lot more fun. And I've got the models, I love the models, so it'd be a lot more fun to do the whole sort of Sons of Ale charging in and seeing how that is, but still having half the bows. Now, one of the advantages you've got when you go for Rivendell Knights is all of a sudden you've got a troop which can do both of those roles. So in some ways, a smaller Rivendell Knight, complete Rivendell Knight force is better than a half Sons of Ale and half Westfold Red Shields force in some ways. I would still fancy the Rohan force when it came to a straight off sort of charge in a fight. But Rivendell Knights, they can do the skirmishing and they can do the charging, and you know, they're going to hold up reasonably well, especially if you've got some shields and stuff, depending on what you're up against. Your force sounds fine, it's a little bit low in numbers, you know, from a scenario point of view, none of your leaders are going to be particularly tough to take down, no matter who you pick. So you might pick one of the twins, they're going to go down reasonably quickly, but at 500 points the twin isn't a bad leader, they're just not the best that you could have, and you want them in there doing the business. And same with Rivendell Knight Captain, 1 fate, 2 wounds, you know, but I've done it before myself, so but yeah, I think that'd be okay. And in terms of larger points games, you need to sort of flesh out your numbers a little bit, so find ways of getting more troops in there, definitely. And yes, even bigger points cost if you can get some magic in there. So I know that James Braun brings Saruman, although Gandalf might be quite handy with the cast blinding light so that you can do the shooting thing even more effective. Definitely something to think about. For Knights dismounts, you should just use the you could either use the Last Alliance Rivendell Elves. Some of them have got Elven Blades and some of them have got bows. Or you could try and get hold of the High Elf Spearmen with shields, and you can use them, or do a conversion of both. So it's important you try and keep them having an Elven Blade, because they don't lose that when they become dismounted, nor do they lose their shield, they just lose the bonus of having the shield from a defense point of view, and they have to take their bow. So not a bad idea is to use the bow elves, stick a Elven Blade on the side and then whack a shield on their back or something, if you want to keep all their war gear. So I hope that helps, buddy. You should be able to pick them up quite cheap on eBay as well. Okay, so next up we've got Stephen Lyon, and Stephen Lyon's put, well, this is my first question. Well, welcome to Speak Friend and Question, and if Jamie was still here, although I'm glad he's not, it's 1:45, wow. then he would say, make sure you ask a question next week because you are now in the loop. He's put, so I was wondering what troops would work well with a Corsair army. I know it may not be very competitive, but it seems like a cool army theme. Well, a Corsair army can be very effective because they have one of the more underpointed and very effective troops in the entire gaming system. And these are Corsair Reavers. Now, they lack defense. They're only defense 4, but they are 2 attacks apiece, and they are fight 5, the same as elves, which is obscene. Now, there's some really cool heroes that you can use for Corsair. Corsair Captain is actually a pretty good hero. The Bosun acts as a banner, and he's pretty reasonably cheap. Corsairs themselves aren't too bad. They come with throwing daggers, etc. And of course you can get spear support in there. So actually they can be a pretty competitive army. You know, you might struggle with shooting, but Corsair Arbalestas, although very rare models, are pretty good. You know, they're pretty good. They give the Corsair army the crossbows effectively. Same as, you know, your Urukai, so suddenly you can do that. And you can also get other leaders in, you know, like your Husharin. Husharin's pretty good hero to have in there. So yeah, go for it. I mean, Corsair Reavers are incredibly competitive and quite cheap, really. They're only 10 points. So now, if you really want to cheese it up, you could always do what a lot of people do and actually put axes on those Reavers. So if you're wondering, well, hang on, I can't buy these Reavers anywhere, you have to buy normal Corsairs of Umbar, and then you will have to convert them so that they've got a weapon in each hand. That's how they become a Corsair Reaver. And if you convert them so one of them is an axe as a hand weapon, then you can piercing strike. And because they're low defense anyway, you're not really giving too much away to your enemy by piercing striking, but you're upping the strength constantly. It's going to be strength 4 or above no matter what. When you've got 2 attacks, that is brutal and slightly filthy. So good luck with that, and let us know how you go. Okay, so next up we've got Who Else But How Dear. Welcome back to Speak Fan Question Pal. He's put, what speculations do you guys have about profiles for Danes, Dwarves and Dane? Well, I know that Jamie is wondering whether there be some kind of like shield wall rule where if they are in base contact with each other they gain an extra defense. So maybe a way for these dwarves to go from defense 7 to defense 8 maybe. That could be quite interesting. You know, if they're in base contact. Who knows? I can imagine, I mean, they're not going to be too far away from what you've got already with dwarves. So they're probably going to be fight 4. They're probably going to be strength 3. With the shield, they're probably going to be strength 7, defense 7. And they're going to have 1 attack. And they're probably going to be courage 4. Perhaps. I'm going to have 1 attack. And by the looks of it, war gear, well, a lot of them had shields and had spears. So if you're going to get them, that's what you'll probably get. Whether you will get them or not, I'm not sure, because I imagine that Warriors of Erebor might be the box set that covers all bases with that, really. But fingers crossed. And in terms of Dane, I've got absolutely no idea. I can imagine a really fun profile for that guy. I expect him to be a bit of a beast. But I've got no idea. It's got to be quite far away from the previous Dane profile. You know, who is an absolute tank. I don't think it will be like the previous Dane profile. I think he's almost guaranteed to be a fight 6 or fight 7 hero. Maybe with all the new releases being fight 7, he'll be a fight 7 hero. Hopefully he's on that pig. But I'm looking forward to seeing that model when it comes out anyway. So yeah, something for us to all look forward to after Christmas, I think. So next up was Chochol Master. We've already done the Chochol Master, which Jamie was mega chuffed to have you back, pal, as am I. So next up we've got Mason O'Neill, and he's put, hi there, which of the new Champions of Erebor profiles is your favourite and why? Thanks. Well, Dwalin is pretty nails, isn't he? I mean, as if he wasn't good enough already, all of a sudden he can go to 4 attacks. is a higher defense. It's just, he's obscene. That's a good profile. The profile, I mean, there's a lot of fluffy profiles. So I like the fluffiness of Thorin. It's a good fluffy profile, I suppose. I love the model. I will be getting that. I will be picking that up very soon. But yeah, I think that they're worth getting. I think that they're pretty cool. So next up we've got Lixation. He's put, hey guys, if you could choose an evil faction, Moria, Mordor, Eastlings, etc., to be a foot soldier, in, what would you choose and why? Secondly, is there a specific reason why Wild Wargs don't get charge bonuses? Cheers. Okay, so if I could choose an evil faction to be a foot soldier in, who would I choose? Well, I wouldn't choose Mordor or Moria, because you're effectively a slave, you know. Snagger means slave in, because that's what they are, they're the Snagger. And it means slave in the Black speech. So I'd probably say, do you know what, I would probably say I wouldn't mind being a Black Numenorian. A Black Numenorian, you know, nice weather down in the south. You know, there's a lot of history, you know, part of old Numenor. Yeah, maybe a Black Numenorian. That's maybe where I would go for. And not Black Numenorians how they're pictured in the game or in the movies, but how they should be. You know, which is basically, they're just Gondorians further south who, you know, if you look into history, the kin strife, the civil war, so the same kind of people really, but just allied with Sauron. And a specific reason why Wild Wargs don't get charge bonuses, because they're not cavalry, and that's the key thing here. And it's the same reason why Eagles don't get a charge bonus, because it's not cavalry. And the moment that something becomes mounted, then it becomes cavalry, and then it gets a +1. So it's because they're not cavalry. That's why they don't get the knockdown unless they're being ridden, or the +1 unless they're being ridden. So I hope that helps. And next up we've got our final question, which is good because it means I can get this uploaded in time for Sunday. It is the Sarasio. He's put, hey guys, following problem. Priority good side, we had 4 good guys circle 1 evil enemy, so they get double strikes. But then another 2 evil guys charge the good guys circling from behind. How do we handle the fights? 8 strikes good versus 3 strikes evil, or separate fights? Please help, thanks. Well, the way that you handle them is you separate off the fights. Okay, so this is all in your rule book, so get your rule book out and it'll all be in there, but you separate out the fights depending on who's in base contact with who. So the player with priority has to separate them. It's hard to do without drawing sort of little circle diagrams, but let's say you've got this guy and he's been charged by 3. Well, if you charge 2 of them, then the one who is in contact with the other one has to split off with the one in the middle, and then the 2 that were surrounded have to split off with the other 2. And depending on who had priority, you get to choose which order you do the combats. So of course, if you're the person who's doing the trapping, you'll probably do that combat first, so that he's still trapped, because he obviously can't back away because the others are in combat. So that's how you do that. So I hope that's reasonably clear, but it's all in the rule book, so do check that out. So that's it. That is the last Speak Friendly question before Christmas. You've got tons of great content coming out at the moment, guys, with the Battle of 5 Armies week that GBHL Tom and GBHL Damien have been handling. I've been on top of some battle reports, as well as Jamie and I filming some very cool sourcebook reviews for next year. So guys, I wish you all the very best this Christmas. Make sure that you continue to support your Hobbit hobby. Follow us on Facebook and on Twitter, of course. Merry Christmas and happy strategy battle gaming, guys.